Yo, what is up? Welcome to the first video of this series. Today I'm going to show you how I create the illustrations that I use in my coloring books that I eventually upload to Amazon KDP. The main reason I like KDP is simply for the fact that you can upload images, they create the books for you, they ship, print, cut, and all you have to worry about as an artist is creating the files, the illustrations. And for me, that's super important because when I first started digital art many years ago, I started off with my iPhone, and I did like the portability of it versus like traditional art where you kind of, you need a canvas and a bunch of material. I did like the form factor of the phone and that you can kind of take it wherever you want it to and still be connected to art. So for me, Amazon KDP, it also helps the artist just focus on art and not have to worry about printing, shipping, and doing all the other stuff. So I'm going to show you real quick how I create these illustrations and how you can too. So the main three apps that I use are Paint Studio, which is down here at the bottom, Procreate, which is a long-time favorite. I've been using it for over 10 years, and then Canva. Each one serves its own purpose, and you'll use each one differently, but they all kind of come together to create the final finished piece that you will send to Amazon to have them print out. All right, so quickly jumping in here, let's first go to Paint. Now, when I first created my first coloring book, it was a tough transition because I'm not used to lining my artwork. I would just create a sketch, and sometimes I'll create line work, but then I would just start painting. I'll jump right into that. So the difference between that and coming to coloring books is it's primarily inking. So if you're gonna create a coloring book, and I can show you this one that I just recently uploaded. It's kind of hard to show with the camera, but there's a couple pages. I've gotten better, but for me, the hard part was the inking. And then the reasons why is simply because vector works better than pixel. Now, what is vector? Vector is just a software or style of art where you can zoom in and then you won't see any pixels, remains its quality at any size. If you think of Procreate, it's more of a pixelated software. So if you zoom in too far, you start to see pixels. I'll get into more of the details on that in a separate video, but for now, I'll just show you the process I do when I create an illustration. All right, so I always start things off with a sketch. Gotta start with a sketch to see what direction you wanna go. Now, I will say ease of use for Paint versus Procreate is night and day. Paint is more advanced and is a huge learning curve. You recognize some of the icons that you see on all the other drawing apps, you'll quickly kind of get accustomed. But it's far better as far as features when it comes versus Procreate. So I'll just start with a quick sketch, rough sketch. I want to start to do more videos on like my art process, but it's kind of tough doing it because it's like the moment you turn on the camera, I don't know, it somewhat loses its feel. It's hard to explain. It's just the vibe changes, I guess. So then what I do is once I have the sketch, I'll start to clean it up. So I'll lower the opacity of the layer, create a new layer. But when I create the new layer, I make sure it's a vector layer. I'll create a separate video to do like a more in-depth walkthrough on how I use Paint. But for now, I'll just quickly go through it. I'll create a vector layer. This is part of the coloring book I just showed you. So I already completed this. I'm just gonna ink over it and show you how I would have done it. And I'll begin to vector brush to line the whole piece. Okay, just like this. Now you see this piece here. It's not as smooth as the rest of them. There's a way around that. And that's why I like this app, because you can quickly fix that. Now, if this was to happen in Procreate, you got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it like a smooth, it's just a lot to do. And I like this way better. All right, here's another feature that I like about Paint Studio is, let's say you're creating work, right? And then you accidentally overlap one of your lines and then you try to erase it. So you zoom in, you start erasing, okay? But if you look, you kind of messed up your original line that you did down here. That part is extremely annoying in Procreate. But what I like about Paint is that, and because it's vector based, it's so much easier for them to erase just the part that you need to erase. So I'll show you. Take an eraser tool, you just swipe, and just like that, it cleans up any lines you may have messed up or any overlapping lines. Just a small feature that I think it really enhances your workflow. Like, on a whole new level, especially when it comes to efficiency and just time. All right, and then after a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of erasing, a little bit of undoing and redoing, we have the finished piece. So this is the completed line work. This is just one page. So normally I'll create between 25 to 30, sometimes 40 images for each coloring book that I will put out. Now the line work can be tedious, but for me, I was able to adjust my workflow on this app to speed up my time that I create these substantially. Procreate, it would take me, let's say, an hour. I can complete this in like 10 minutes. That's pretty much it, pretty straightforward. I do have more time than I have previously, so I do plan on uploading a lot more videos. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, just leave them below and I'll get to them. Until then, peace.